Hey everyone, it's Dr. Dan Ritchie, president of the Functional Aging Institute, here with my good friend Shauna Kaminsky, all the way from Calgary, Alberta, which is awesome. So Shauna has been in the fitness industry quite a while. I've known her since 2010. I won't tell people how long you've been in the fitness industry, but a former PE teacher, so near and dear to my heart. She's owned a Fit Buddy boot camp as well as other fitness businesses, and really the last 8 to 10 years has been prolific in the online space. In fact, we had you out in 2015, kind of ahead of the game at the Functional Aging Summit, very first event, and a lot of people were interested. So how do I build an online fitness business? So we're having you back this year to talk about that, and really cool that you can be on. So this is kind of a different webinar for us. We don't normally talk about online fitness business. We're typically talking about brick and mortar, but I think even for the brick and mortar trainer, there's a lot they can learn from you in terms of ongoing online support and coaching and accountability and just so many things that even brick and mortars need to do better. And so I'm going to let you take over. As always, some of our ground rules for everyone listening live. I'm really not going to interrupt you, Shauna. I'm going to let you roll with your content. Unless you put up some crazy SEO term or web tech thing that somebody asks a question and says, hey, what is Shauna talking about? I won't interrupt. And then we'll do live Q&A at the end. So have your questions ready. And as always, I'd love to know where everybody's from. Usually we have 6 or 7 countries represented, which is cool. So tell me what city you're in, what country you're in, what time zone you're in. Post that in the Q&A or the chat. But Shauna, thanks so much for doing this. Take it away.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And I also want to say that I am live on IG. So to my IG audience, if you are interested in this presentation, then I can get you a link for it. You're just gonna see me. You won't see my slideshow, but I can send that your way if you DM me. So I won't be able to answer questions on live IG, but I will later. So please make sure that you DM me. And today, I'm talking about building an online fitness business, but actually it really could go for any idea. Like if you're a gardener, if you're, whatever you have that you want to you build, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a fitness business. It applies to other demographics, to other subjects. So the first thing, whatever you're doing that you need to do, in building your business, is you just have to figure out, who you are and how can you help others. The thing is your clients or your potential clients are actually crying themselves to sleep at night waiting for your solution. So, you really have to determine what's special about you, what's different about you, what do you have to offer that other, professionals have not offered in the past. And so the thing is, you have to be unique. You don't want to be a Me Too product or service. You have to kind of research what's out there. You have to have a passion because, whatever you're doing, there's going to be some grinding involved with it. So you want to kind of be able to love it so much that you would actually do this work for free. So it's basically you want to build a better mousetrap, and you have to think about why would anyone come to you to work with you in particular when there's all these other professionals and that are out there. So just determining what's unique about you, because I promise you have something special and unique. You just have to refine it down to what's going to make you stand out. Now, one of the biggest things that has been one of my secrets to success is my ability and willingness to fail, because it's not failure, it's really just feedback. And so whatever you start, it's okay to be a work in progress. It's okay to make mistakes along the way. One of my very first programs in 2010 was called Female Fat Loss Over 40. And when I look back on it, I just cringe because it was actually horrific. But the thing is, nothing bad happened to me in releasing it. I helped a lot of people, and it helped me fail forward so that then I could, build other programs I learned from. So don't be thinking that the very first thing you release has to be like perfect. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. You have to think scalable. So think about how can you help a large number of people? How can you leverage your time how can you create something once and rinse and repeat it? So you really want to do the least amount of work to help the most amount of people. And that's kind of how I started in the online business, because I had a fitness business and I had lots of people that were going on holidays or maybe moving. And so they wanted to know, how could I, can you give me a program while I'm gone? And I kept making all these programs and I thought, I only want to do this once. So then I could do it once and help lots of people with it. And so when you're thinking an online program, you want to think about how you can create something once and then, leverage it, do it, help lots of people with it. Now, whatever you're doing, you really have to consider who you want to help, and we call it an avatar. So, the avatar is the person, the perfect client, who you want to work with and what problem you want to solve for them. And you want to be as specific as possible. It's okay to not be able to help everyone. When you want to be everything to everybody, you tend to be nothing to no one. So it's okay to polarize your crowd. It's okay to have people that love you and hate you. Well, I never want people hating me, but there's people that I'm not gonna be the solution to their problem, and that's fine, because then there's other people that I'll be the solution to their problem. So when I'm creating my avatar, and for my IG crowd, I have a slide up here that has name, age, job, family, interests, hobbies, the car they drive, as specific as possible. And then I have an example of one of my avatars, and she's Susie, 51, married to an investment banker, retired or part-time work, doing her own passion, one-year-old child, concerned with looking great, competitive with herself, like what she drives, she enjoys cooking, she's self-motivated. Like, I've listed everything so that in all my marketing, in all my presentations, in my emails, posts, sales pages, programs, I can speak directly to her, and it's like I'm in her head, because it just is so personal to her. Now, Susie is my avatar. Not everybody drives, this car or has one grown child, but if I'm speaking to her, other people in my tribe are listening, and it usually is going to resonate with them as well. So, so once you've chosen your avatar, everything is new in 2010 or now 2019 compared to when I first started in 2010. There was a little bit of social selling at that point, but now it is big. Social selling, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, all the social platforms are really big now. And you'll see there's lots of experts out there trying to get your attention, or trying to get the attention of your customer. So one trick that you can do is you can be, while you're researching or figuring out who or how you want to help people, is you can see who has your perfect client already. What are they doing? What's their messaging? So you can be studying these people on on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and see what they're doing and do it better. Like I said, build a better mousetrap. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about social selling and how to go about it. The big thing about social platforms, and by the way, this works as well once you get somebody's email and you're the expert in their email box, but oftentimes we're using social selling a lot more to get people's emails. But the idea is that you want to be the expert, you want to be the solution to your avatar's problems, you want to be the value adder, give away your best stuff. And the idea is to build your authority. If you can describe a person's problem better than they can describe it themselves, you are a person of authority, and they're going to want to listen to you. They're going to want to follow you. You want to be that guru, but you need to have that consistent message throughout all your messaging and throughout your personal and your professional messaging. So make sure that whatever you're doing in your personal life, it is congruent to what you're doing in your professional life as well. You want to, the idea is that you really want to be growing that know, like, trust factor. You want to be, oftentimes you want to be the person the avatar wants to be. So you're setting that positive example. you want to be transparent and have some flaws. Where none of us are perfect. So for example, in all my messaging, most of my list would know that I'm a horrific cook. And so, you know, oftentimes I might be sharing my epic fail cooking, or, you know, because, you know, people like to know that you're human. So you can't come across as perfect, but you do want to set a positive example. And it's you need to be engaging and what we call entertaining. So it's entertaining with a lesson. And like I said, you want to show your flaws. You want to be selective with what you're sharing. So, you know, I'm going to share that I'm a horrific cook, but when I was going through my divorce, I'm not necessarily going to be sharing details of that messiness. You know, I can button that up and, you know, maybe refer to that at another time, but I don't need to go into deep dark secrets. But I do you know, I do need to be a little bit vulnerable, because that increases the know, like, trust factor. So social selling is all about building awareness, engagement, fun. It's all about relationship building and credibility. And sometimes I get a little bit creeped out when somebody from IG or Facebook will message me, or I'll see, I met somebody in Shoppers Drug Mart, and she just like, hey, you know, like, she knew so much about me and I'd never met her. And part of me is just like, whoa, how do you know all that? But it's because I'm building this relationship. I share things about my dogs, so people know about, you know, who my dogs are, that my kids are, you know, athletes and what they're doing. And so it's kind of just that relationship building, that so that they feel that they know me because I've let them into part of my life. And that just helps them to trust me and potentially work with me in the future. So social selling is kind of like inviting someone into your living room. You're not going to invite them into your living room and then just hammer them with hard sales. You know, you want to build that relationship, but you always want to have some kind of call to action. It could be a soft pitch like, hey, just, you know, DM me, message me. And then you take that conversation off of, you know, the public profile platform, and move it into something a little more private. And the thing with social platforms is that they can go away at any time. So you really need to find your customer, appeal to them, start the conversation, and then move them to a DM, maybe get their email and add to some kind of email list so that you can have an ongoing conversation with them. Because guess what? Instagram can close your account, Facebook can close your account at any time. And so, you know, you want to be building these relationships, but if you go away, you know, you've lost that social platform. So lots of times what I'll do with social selling is I'll go live simultaneously by providing content on IG and Facebook simultaneously, like I'm doing this webinar. I'm doing a webinar that some people, we had over, maybe 250 people sign up for. But then I'm also going live on IG so that I can get the message out, because I feel like I have a strong and powerful message of helping people. And so, you know, I spin content several ways. When I do, you know, some kind of content, I'll often create a post for IG, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'll do maybe IGTV. I'll maybe do a blog post, a podcast, a YouTube video. So you want to go where your customers are, and you really want to be on all those platforms. So it adds to your credibility when people see you on IG, and then they're seeing me on this live webinar, and then maybe I post that webinar on Facebook, and it builds your guru status, because people think, you know, when they see, oh, you've got lots of followers, you've got lots of content here, it just helps to make you more credible. Now, anything that you do, you want to be quantifying as much as possible. So you want to look at what's working. So if I'm making a post on IG or on Facebook and I get no likes or comments, like it's just like crickety, or I try and do a webinar and nobody signs up, it's like, okay, well, I need to tweak that. So whatever you're doing, you want to be looking at the content, you want to be looking at the offer, the call to action, you want to look at the number of views and likes and comments, number of messages you get from it. And then you can reverse engineer that, so that then you can, you know, determine, well, how many posts do I need to get this many, what types of posts do I need to do? How many posts do I need to do daily? When's the best time to post? You know, how many messages am I getting? How many visits am I getting to my website? What's the conversion on my website? How many emails do I need to send to get clicks to my website. So having a look at all the math and the numbers around what you're doing is very helpful, because then you can kind of just, like I said, reverse engineer, see what's working, and then kind of work backwards. Now, YouTube is a great platform where you can just really literally create your own stardom, as is IGTV and stories, Facebook stories. Anytime you can be legitimate and, you know, on video, it kind of shows the real you. I really like how there's the live opportunities on Facebook and, you know, all and IG and YouTube. You can do YouTube live as well, because your followers, your viewers get to know you, you know, your personalities, your quirks, and you can really become that guru. You can get things shared, and people get to know, like, and trust you a little bit more than just this personality with everything that's perfectly curated. So I've had lots of epic fails on all kinds of Facebook lives, and I'm always failing, and it's okay, because my list is happy to see that, hey, okay, so she flubbed up there, it's all right. You know, just being authentic is super important. So now you might be wondering, you know, okay, I've got an idea of what I wanna do. You know, what do I do on Facebook, on IG, on YouTube? So I wanted to talk a little bit about the content. And the thing is that repetition is fine, because who's ever watching, like whoever's watching this on IG or whoever's watching this webinar, you know, there's going to be new people all the time. So it's okay to be, you know, repeating yourself. And here's a suggestion. You could pick maybe 5 questions or topics that you're always answering, and then you could just answer it in different ways. So for example, you could talk about your story. You could talk about a case study. You could talk about facts or stats. You could talk about overcoming myths, or you could provide like a celebrity example. So for example, I talk a lot about the myths of menopause, because my clients are typically women 40 and over and 50 and over, and so menopause is a big deal. So in one of my posts or videos or any of the content that I put out, I might be talking about why I'm so passionate about it, and I bring up the story of my mom. So anybody that's on my list kind of knows the history and the story about my mom. I might talk about a case study, like a success story, like Diane, one of my clients who's over 50, who's lost 50 pounds, and give some tips of how she did that, and make it possible, let people know, hey, it's possible that you can lose weight even after 50. I might talk about facts or stats, like I'll talk about the average rate of death for women and say, okay, that average death is, I think it's 84. I worked it out that I would have, maybe if I lived to that average, I would have 27 Christmases and that sort of thing. So then I can kind of spin that to say, hey, you know, we really need to get you thinking about your health, because time is limited. Or I might talk about overcoming myths like hypothyroidism and how that is often mistaken for menopause. Or I might talk about a celebrity example like Halle Berry or Madonna, Sharon Stone, Nicole Kidman, or Sandra Bullock, and talk about how, you know, they seem to be overcoming menopause with grace. So I can take content on that's one topic and spin that 5 ways, and then I can, you know, continue to spin that, or I could take another topic or question that I get, say hot flashes or sleep, and then so just keeping spinning all those topics is a super way to just keep adding content and value to your clients, because you know, you really have to be demonstrating that you know what you're talking about. It gives you credibility. It makes people want to follow you a little bit more. Now, like I said before, social platforms are fantastic, but you can lose them in a second. You could get shut down and then have nothing. So you really need to move those clients from social platforms onto your email list. So ways to build your email list. Oh, I have some notes here. I'm even looking at them, but I'm way behind. So let's look at some ways to build your client list. So number one is you can just take names. So when you're meeting someone, rather than giving your business card out, best thing is to, hey, can I take your email, and then get them on your list. So there's lots of friends and family and people in your local circle. Yes, we're talking about online, but you can be building your list from a local standpoint as well. There's nothing wrong with, like, say I'm in Calgary, there's a million people here. I'd be happy to help a lot of people in Calgary. So when I meet people, I would rather give them, rather than give them a business card or have them have my information, I'd rather have their information, because then I can reach out to them. So collecting emails is, that's the name of the game. And, just friends and family, that's a great start too. You can create a squeeze page, where a squeeze page is a website that's going to give away something for free. So something for free could be something like a report, a video, a workout plan, some recipes, a nutrition plan. It has to be valuable, because your list needs to look at it and say, wow, if this person is giving away this for free, imagine if I paid for a service, how great it would be. So giving away something for free in an exchange for an email is a great way to, build an email list. And then I'll talk about a little bit what you're going to do with that email list. But the next thing I wanted to say is, whatever you promise, make sure that you keep that promise. So follow up with everything you say. Everything you say you'll do, make sure you do. A friend, Craig Ballantyne, and mentor, he says, don't promise a unicorn and deliver a donkey. It's not going to create a good impression. So make sure that you are giving away something of value, and that it's that you follow up with what you say you're going to do. A lot of times it's just a matter of showing up. So on social media, coming, regularly, posting at a regular time, or if you're going to do lives, go at a regular time, or if you're doing those posts, make sure that you're doing it daily, so that people are looking for you. If you have opportunity, go to events and make connections. Rub elbows with people that are doing the things that you aspire to be doing. And so just showing up is, and showing up at events where your avatar might be, is a great way to be making connections as well. Now, in the online world, there's something, it's called affiliate marketing. And what that is that if I have an online program, Dan and I have actually promoted for each other. And the way it works is that if I'm promoting for Dan, he's got the program. And when I sell his program to my list, I'm going to get probably 75% or more of the profit. And he's going to get the email and the buyer. So I make a good chunk of the money, and he gets the email or the buyer that he can do future marketing to. So this is a great thing to do even before if you have a list, you can be promoting somebody else's program. Or if you want someone to promote you, you can be first trying to, find a way to help them so that they would promote you. Because the thing is like, you might have a great program, but you don't have anyone to sell it to. So you have to create a list. And so one way to make a list is to have an affiliate promote for you. But you don't want, when someone comes to me that I don't know and they say, hey, here's a great program, will you promote it for me? But I don't have a relationship with that person, it's unlikely that I'm going to be promoting for them, because I don't know, if they're credible, I don't know how their program is. But for example, there was somebody a while ago, before I really got into IG, her name was Molly, and she said, hey, can I teach you about Instagram? Can I run your Instagram program or account for you for a bit? And I said, of course. And then, then I promoted her. So that's a great way to kind of break into the market, is to, do some affiliate marketing, sell their programs, help them out. But you want to be, really cool about it. So now let's say you've got a list, you've created some guru status, you're an authority figure, you've been pumping out good content. So now what are you going to do with that? So at that time, you really want to just love up your list. You want to be sending great content, and I've been talking about the content. You want to be starting the conversation. You want to make sure that, you know, you're kind of in the avatars on their radar, so that I want my avatar to be kind of checking into my Instagram account or checking on my emails that I send out, or on my Facebook page to be like, hey, what's Shauna up to today? I want to be that 5-minute escape for that person that's in a cubicle and is having a boring life, and just be like, hey, what's Shauna up to? So you want to be that person to your avatar. You want to build that relationship. You want to be, get to know each other, ask questions, bring value to increase that know, like, trust factor, because you might have just given them a free offer, a free report of some sort. You know, you might not have exchanged money at yet. So you could do things like doing surveys, getting people to respond to you, answer their questions. You know, it's all about being consistent and kind of ethical selling, in that, you know, you want to be like the assistant buyer, in that you're creating the you're just making it easy for them to want to buy what you have to offer. So let's say you're a hormone specialist. So, you know, all your content might be around, you know, solving hormonal problems, making sure they know that, you know, you're the go-to where hormones are concerned. Break down, you know, some of the issues, related to hormones, for example. And a lot of times, you know, you might be telling the what, but not necessarily the how, because especially something like fitness, it has to be a little bit more, oftentimes it needs to be a little bit more personalized. So you can talk in general terms of what the problem is, or what a potential solution is, but not necessarily all the hows. For example, you might show, this is, push-up might be a great exercise for upper body, but you might not do all the hows in terms of how many reps, how often do you train, that sort of thing. So you teach the what, but not necessarily all the how to everything. Now, when you're emailing, it's really important that you stay in touch with your list on a regular basis. So at first, my coaching clients, I suggest to them, as they're building their list, to maybe be in touch with their clients maybe, you know, once or twice a week, and then build it up to maybe 3 times a week. You don't want to just start with like 7 times a week. So I email my list 7 days a week, but I've been at this for almost 10 years, and people that have been on my list are expecting that. So as you're growing, you're going to also grow the touch points that you have with your clients. And then typically you're going to have at least a 2 to 1 ratio in terms of pitching. So I might pitching, what I mean by that, in terms of like maybe a harder sell. So you might have 2 content emails with a very soft pitch or call to action. And then the third one might have a little bit more aggressive call to action of, hey, you really need to act on this. Because you don't want to just be hammering, you know, buy my service. You know, people don't want to be sold. They want to open your email or go to your YouTube, your IG, whatever it is, for great content. And then they're not going to mind if you're like, hey, you know, you've been watching me for a while. I've got a service. You've got a need. Let's talk. But you can't do that every time. So there's got to be like, I'm of the mind that you always need to have a call to action, because you never know the day that Mrs. Jones or whoever your avatar is going to say, hey, you know what? I need to talk to that person. I've had clients come to me. They said, I've been on your email list for 3 years now. I've been watching you. I've been watching all that you put out. I finally just need to contact you. And if I didn't have something in that email when they were, excited to talk to me, you know, they just need that call to action. So I got kids coming and going. So the thing is you want, on my screen here, I've got a mouse or a cat with a birthday cake, and it says, God, I wanted a mouse. Because the thing is you have to give clients what they want, but you also have to give them what they need. So for example, lots of women think they want abs. And of course they probably do, but you know, deep down, you have to kind of peel the onion. What do they really want? They might really just want more confidence. They might want their partner to look at them like they used to. But you can't sell that. You can't sell confidence, but you can sell abs that will build their confidence. So kind of getting in their head and thinking about what's the real need that my avatar wants. And like I said, you can't necessarily sell confidence, but you can peel it back and, you know, maybe sell them abs. Whatever your program is, you have to keep it as simple as possible. So if your grandma or if your mom can't understand what you're trying to sell, what you're trying to do, it's probably too complicated. The thing is you can always do a 2.0, but you want to keep whatever you're doing super simple. And one of the problems that some of my business coaching programs have, clients have, is that they want, I'm going to give them this and this and this and this in an effort to give such a lot of value, which is awesome. But sometimes I'm just like, whoa, you know, they can't take all that. You don't need to write 600 pages. They don't want to read an entire book. They don't want to read an anatomy book, or, you know, so you have to keep it super simple. And people are more interested in super simple than, you know, even in an effort to give lots of value. On my screen, I have a picture of one of my programs called Challenge Jump Rope that was released maybe around 2015, and there was 10 days to launch that. So that included doing the videos, doing the entire program, creating the sales page, the payment gateway, the autoresponders that when somebody paid, they got an email with the program delivery, the emails for promotion. The reason I'm putting this up is because lots of people think that's going to take them a year to build the program. So chances are most people need to like speed up the program development and know that the program doesn't typically take that long to create. And if it does, it might be a mistake, because I don't want you to be making a program that you spend a year creating and then having nobody buy it. So it's better to probably do, sorry, I'm distracted. I'm distracted. Sorry. Because I've had some clients that have spent a year developing a program, and it's like, oh, but it's not what the client wanted. So better to do a little snippet of that, get it out there, and see what your audience enjoys about that, get feedback, and then do a 2.0 on that. So basically for a digital program, what you need is you need something to sell. You need a sales page. Bye, hun. So distracting. You need a way to collect money, and a way to keep in touch.
Children, they're always coming and going. You know, I tell you. You have to work so they can keep coming and going.
Oh yeah, being a jerk over here, trying to make me laugh. I'm trying to keep my composure. Anyway, okay, back to digital programs. You need something to sell. You need a sales page. I wanted to give a shout out to ClickFunnels. It's a great, that's a great service for opt-ins and for creating sales pages, a way to collect money. Great service provider is ClickBank, so I'd highly recommend that. The thing is do not wait for perfection. You know, if you're waiting for perfect, you're going to be waiting a long time. And mostly your avatar, your potential clients they're waiting for the solution. So there's a lot of people you can be helping in the meantime, while you're honing your craft. Like I said, my first program was absolutely horrific. I look back on it now, and it's just like the graphics, it was horrible. But it didn't matter. I didn't hurt anybody. I helped people. My reputation wasn't, messed up. I helped people, and then it helped me move ahead. So you can always course correct and make those, failing forward, making those corrections after you get some feedback. That feedback is so important. And the secret sauce is actually making money with social selling, using your social platforms, even before you have an email list, before you've done all this, and use the social selling to create a program, your digital program that you can release to the masses. You can do social selling, making money while you're creating that program. And that's what I'm going to be teaching at our upcoming mastermind. So we just are running out of time here. The big thing is that don't go it alone. There's so many people that have done it before you that are going to save you time and money. They're going to get you connected to the people that you need to, the services that you need to. Like, I've made a ton of mistakes that I steer my clients away from. And you're going to be able to help the people that you want to help while you're making money actually sooner. So you can kind of buy speed by not going it alone. And so on my screen now is I have a call to action, which is to the Power of Five Mastermind that we're having May 2nd and 3rd in Banff. And the website is powerofivemastermind.com. If you are on Instagram and are interested in all this stuff, or potentially coming to our mastermind in May in the beautiful mountain resort of Banff, then message me and I'll get you some information about that. So I went super fast. I think, Dan, we're gonna do some Q&As if anybody has any. Have we had any come in?
We haven't had any come in yet, but I would love for folks to start peppering you with questions, because I'm sure people have plenty when it comes to the online business. I'll start with one. So, like, who do you hang out with? Who are your coworkers? What about staff? Other than your kids coming and going in the middle of you working, like, just tell us a little bit about the actual work experience. And I know I've seen you working everywhere, right? Like, you can literally take your job on the road, but just tell us a little bit about that.
You mean about just having the experience of working online?
Yeah, you're no longer training clients one-on-one in a studio, right, or leading a boot camp or teaching a PE class. So just give us sort of a 2-minute overview of what this job is like, because I think some people think, oh, I sit lakeside, or I'm sitting at a beach and I just send an email and money magically comes in, which obviously it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice thought, and big picture, that's kind of how it works, but there's a lot of grunt work in between that, where I've done a lot of, and so have you, Dan, and that's how we met, is meeting at masterminds. That's how we met, is at a mastermind, and those are kind of like my best friends now. That you are the it's so, I would never have done what I've done, and I think I've helped over 50,000 people have my program in their hands. So that makes me feel good to know that I've had some kind of effect in helping people. But it would never have happened unless I rubbed elbows with people like you and all the people that we've been meeting in these masterminds. Because I get up early in the morning and I open up my laptop, and it's work on the laptop, and it's difficult to know what's first. Do I do the graphics first? Oh, how do I form an email? So, getting those marching orders is super helpful. And basically that's what I'm doing, is I'm doing posts, I'm doing videos, I'm creating content, and I love it. And, I have clients now that, coaching clients that, maybe a lot of them came in with that low barrier offer, maybe that free or that $15 product. And now they're one-on-one coaching clients. And so you can fetch a higher fee for them to get your higher level of service. But it's so cool that I have clients in Scotland and Slovenia and Australia and all over the States and the Philippines and Hawaii. And, so yeah. The world is a lot smaller, and things have changed quite a bit since we started in 2010.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Very big.
Yeah. All right. So, and if you haven't told us where you're from, I'd love to see that. We still have 44 folks on live. Chandra gives you a shout out. She's from Calgary, Alberta as well. So Jennifer from Seattle, Alan in Panama. Kirpal has a great question from Mississauga, Ontario, I believe. Kirpal asks, so what are your thoughts on starting with free platforms while starting an online business on a tight to no budget? Platforms like WordPress, PayPal, MailChimp for landing pages. What are your thoughts on that?
Get started. Absolutely. You know, the thing is you need to, if you're waiting until, you know, you have this big cash flow, it probably won't happen. So you can always do this on a budget. And the idea is you want to get results for people because, and you know what, give away a lot of your, in the beginning, I had people I trained for free so that I would get those testimonials. And that, you know, because you want to help people and you want people to see that you're getting results. So yes, you can start on those free platforms. You know, Instagram is free, Facebook is free, YouTube is free. Get out there and get out with great content. And then, you know, like I said, you don't necessarily have to have all the bells and whistles. One of the things I'm going to be teaching at the mastermind is like, you don't even have to have a digital product, any kind of digital program. You can be selling a service while you're building that. And at the end of the day, I think the way digital marketing is going in the fitness industry anyway, like at one point, and I kind of hit the crest of this, is that when you have a really hot selling sales page, you know, you can hit the masses. But my preference, maybe it's just my preference and bias, is I would rather impact fewer people more profoundly at a higher price point. And you can be doing that. You can be doing both. You can be hitting fewer people at a higher price point by delivering your services through social selling while you're creating that beautiful sales page and creating income to use some of those higher price services.
Yeah. It's, I mean, it's not easy, but it's as simple as 1,000 customers at $80 a month, right? And you have $1 million a year business, right? But you're talking about getting a better customer who wants to pay you to impact them more profoundly. So Jordan has a great question. Jordan says, hey, from College Station, Texas, go Texas A&M. What platform do you use for lead follow-up and automations? FitPro, Lead Crush, other question.
So currently I'm using Entreport, which might not be the best fit for somebody starting out, and you use that as well, Dan.
Yep.
But I do like Aweber. If you've got FitPro newsletter is awesome, except for I'm not, the downside of FitPro newsletter is that the graphics and the, you know, is a little bit clunky for pages. My favorite would be ClickFunnels. And if I was starting out, and I had a fitness business, I would use FitPro newsletter because it delivers, that's one, you know, you're getting that newsletter every week. It's great. And I would use ClickFunnels and they integrate pretty well.
Yeah. Jake is asking if you could just elaborate a little bit more on affiliate marketing. So I'm going to answer it first. And then you can kind of add to it. So my take on affiliate marketing has always been, and I kind of learned this from Craig, a mentor of both of ours, is the fastest way to get a customer is to get somebody else's customer, right? So if I know Shauna has 50,000 customers, I want to go to Shauna and just be like, hey, Shauna, I will pay you 90%, right, for every dollar that you sell on mine. In fact, you know what? I'll pay you 100%, Shauna. If you will mail for me, I'll pay you 100% of the revenue. I just want her customers, right? So now she mails for me, and all of a sudden, boom, I go from 0 customers to 1,000 customers, right? Now, sometimes people make the mistake, I think, Shauna, of thinking, well, why would I want to give 100% of the money away? You're not thinking about, why would you not want to get 1,000 customers as fast as possible, right? And so right. I'll let you add to that.
Well, I think you probably explained it a lot better than I did in terms of, but that's basically it, because I need to have a customer base, because once I have a customer base, then I can sell them other products and services of my own, or I can sell them other, so then boom, Dan has 1,000 customers. Then he might go to Aaron Nielsen and sell that product to that 1,000 customers, even before he has his own program.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
yeah. So there's less affiliate marketing nowadays than there was when we first got into this business. And part of it is a lot of people are just more interested in buying their own traffic. So they're doing their own Facebook ads and their own, there's just less sharing of customers, because the downside of affiliate marketing is it gets your email list gets a little bit watered down, whereby I'm emailing to them, Dan's emailing to them, Aaron's emailing to them, Mike's emailing to them. Like, they're getting a bunch of emails. And Gmail got smart and, made the promo folder. Some people
Right.
maybe don't even look in their promo folder. So there's a lot of changes with affiliate marketing, and even just like online marketing. If all you do is hit their email, you need to be in email, you need to be on social media, you need to be on YouTube, because if you're just relying on emails, lots of people aren't opening your emails, and then when they don't open your emails go into promo, junk, or spam. So the deliverability of emails gets a little bit, it used to be a lot easier to get into email boxes, and the customer is getting a little bit more savvy to, hey, I'm getting slammed with all these emails of people selling the same thing.
Right.
So, as like, I know that anything I offer, my list, I want to make sure that I believe in the program. Like, I'm not gonna sell ginseng knives or whatever. Like, I'm not hunting or survivalist. Like, I'm not just gonna throw anything at them. My list is very precious to me. I love the people on my list, so I want to love them up with great content and with possible offers that might be suitable for them.
Yeah. Chad's asking, what do you typically charge? And do you do a low barrier offer then with a monthly recurring?
Oh, well, that's hard to say, because I'm not sure what we're charging for, but there's a variety of, ways that you can get people on your list, or programs or products you can offer them. My suggestion is not necessarily to go to, a lot of people want to build a membership site with reoccurring income right away, which is brilliant. 1,000 clients at $80, you've hit the million. Sounds great on paper, but a little bit harder to implement.
Right.
So it's not as easy as the math would say. So I'm really skirting around the issue.
Just give us an example of some of your typical online products. What do you charge
some
for?
of my low barrier offers are as low as $15 for the entry, and then there's always upsells, so that might be like a $75 or $80 cart value, which still is pretty inexpensive compared to what the customer is going to get. And then, in terms of deliverables, but then that can lead to, a $59 or $99 monthly that I'll have, or coaching at $99 or $197 or $500 or $1,000. So, the idea is that you want to escalate your client from that $15 offer. You want to make sure they see enough value in you that they're going to reach out for further coaching. You want to get them into those higher level programs.
Yeah. Coach RGT from Maryland. You kind of answered it, but not fully. He asks, actually, I don't know if it's a he or she, Coach RGT. Do you recommend a membership site for clients? So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, membership sites with reoccurring income is great for you, but for the client, a lot of people don't like that reoccurring payment. So I'm not you have to have a pretty solid big email or customer base to be able to pull from that. One thing that you can do is just be having like a private group. Like, I have one called Healthy Secrets for Women 40 Plus on Facebook. And one thing that I'll do with that group is I always offer great content there, lots of the what's, not always all the hows. And then I'll go into my private group, Shauna 24/7, and provide the hows, but I'll tease that out on Healthy Secrets. And I have, I think, 5,000 or 6,000 in that group. And, you know, I just talked to a great person from the Healthy Secrets group yesterday that I've been seeing her for a year on Healthy Secrets. And yesterday we had a call and now she's coaching. So sometimes, you know, you just have to be patient. And sometimes I feel like I'm talking to crickets. But then, you know, people will email me or message me like, oh, thank you. I really enjoyed your message. You're really helping me. And it's just like, you have to be so passionate about what you're doing that you need to want to do it for free, because at first it feels like you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Eric, we just talked on the phone, I think earlier this week. He asked a great question, which I want to hear your take on. So are you finding that older adults use social media other than Facebook and can be reached that way?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, for sure. I have, you know, I have a lot of clients that are on Facebook, but they're moving to IG. Instagram is really starting to be, you know, maybe even the platform of choice for people. So if you think that social media is, you know, the older adult is, you know, 50 plus is not going to be on social media, then think again. I really believe, and I'm sure that you said the same, Dan.
Yeah, well, I would say for sure women. I mean, women have already been on Facebook, but now they're moving to Instagram because they realize, hey, wait a minute, my kids and grandkids are not on Facebook; they're on Instagram, right? You know, so absolutely, grandma's got to hop on Instagram to see what everybody's up to. So, yeah, I definitely think so, and they certainly use Twitter and other, but Instagram and Facebook would be the dominant two, I would think.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
All right, we got a few more minutes here. I want to be cognizant of your time, so we got about 8 more minutes for folks to ask questions. Let's see what else we've got here. Kerpel's asking, will you be at Canadian Fitness Business Summit? I will not. How about you, Shauna?
Well, I know Kerpel. I might not be saying we met in San Diego, and so hi. But when and what is the Canadian Fitness Business Summit?
Canadian Fitness Business Summit, I know, is April 12th and 13th. And I know I will be actually in Irvine at Association of Fitness Studios event, so I will not be there. Joe Arco is putting it on. It's, to my knowledge, it's the first ever Canadian Fitness Business Summit.
Wow.
So,
I need to get in touch with Joe Arco.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I know Scott Rockcliffe is scheduled to be speaking at both events. I asked him how he's pulling that off.
Well, you know, he just needs to travel.
So I'm sure he's flying from one to the other on the same day or something.
Yeah, I need to get more information on it. Yeah, I'd love to get there, but I don't know.
Yeah, Kerpel says it's April 13th and 14th in his hometown of Mississauga. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but
awesome.
Cool.
All right, well, I'll have to Google it. I would love to get there.
Yeah, it's the second weekend of April, 13th and 14th. So it looks like a great event. I took a look at it, and unfortunately, I was already committed when they announced it. All right, Coach RGT. Just says thanks for your comments on the membership site. And then what about, like, what do you do for phone numbers for online business? So he asks, what about an independent business number versus mobile phone? Like, I'm curious too, because I'm starting to get phone calls at my studio. I don't even know how people track my phone down, but they call like, I bought your functional fitness solution and the DVD never showed up. I'm like, how did you get my business phone?
I had somebody phone me from Baton Rouge, and I answered, and she said, "Hey, this is Shauna. Yep, I can't download My Bikini Belly," and I'm like, okay, but you can search the interwebs to find my phone number.
Right, yeah, that's pretty savvy to track you down on yourself.
Anyway, yeah, so I actually have, it's actually a Magic Jack number, because I don't know if we have Google numbers here in Canada, and so it's a service that I use, and so I publish, like, it's a Magic Jack number, and then it goes to a recording right away, and I know that's not the greatest customer experience, but I get an email right away. So then I send it to my customer service, or or to my boot camp, or to my if it's somebody that I need to talk to. But otherwise, like, it's as much as I want to talk to my customers, it's not always convenient. And sometimes I don't know how to do some of the tech stuff,
Right.
download, and like, I don't do that. I do the other end of it. And there's somebody that can answer a question better than me. So I do something called Magic Jack, or I would use in Entreport, we can text through that if anyone's using that, but they can't reply back. There's Skipio is another program that you can use. I'm using Club Ready in my boot camp now, and we can text through that. So I don't think that I would not recommend having your own personal.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, definitely don't do that. Because yeah, you will get the random phone calls. The other thing to think about is your product's going to be bought in multiple time zones, in theory, eventually all around the world. So somebody's going to call you at like 4 in the morning, right? You're going to think, oh my gosh, who is this calling me? You're going to answer it, and it's going to be somebody saying, how do I download your product, right? Like, so yeah, you don't really want to be taking phone calls. It's not that kind of business. So Kirpal does say Craig and Vince Del Monte will be speaking. Probably trying to woo you more. I'm not sure.
Okay. Gotcha. I'll try and get there. I have to look into it.
All right. I'm not seeing any other questions. So I just want to kind of reiterate for folks, especially folks listening on the recording. This is usually where people are like, oh, but I wanted to ask this. So if you want to ask us a question, just reach out directly to us. I can get the questions to Shauna. If you're thinking about taking your online business to the next level or launching one, this meeting we're having in Banff, Alberta is the way to do it. So the thing that I found, Shauna, is really the key to success in the online world is to hang out with other people that are having success and just kind of model what they're doing. And one of the reasons we're putting this event together is because a bunch of us haven't gotten together with other online fitness owners in over a year, and we're like, hey, we got to get in the same room and get some of that energy going. And so of course I said, why not Banff, because there's no better place than Banff to go in the world. So so it's going to be a fun meeting where you're going to get to hang out with a lot of other online fitness business owners like Shauna and Aaron Nielsen and Brian Stecker. I mean, this guy's built a 15,000 subscriber following on YouTube, just purely by putting out content. And so
Sarah Dean, I think she just hit 1 million downloads for her podcast, and this is going to be a small event. So one thing, we're taking the idea of speed dating and doing speed networking. So I really like the idea that everyone's going to talk to everyone.
Yep.
And so I'm super excited for it because there's always magic that happens in that room just by rubbing elbows, getting ideas from each other, and everybody wants to do business with friends. And that is the glory and beauty of online. I mean, that's why we're doing it, Dan. Dan was like, let's get the band back together. So it's like, let's do this. And so we have a great reason to get together, and we'll have some fun. And I know my business is going to grow because of it, and all the people that show up will as well.
Cool. All right, one last question. Kirpal's asking, when do you do a version 2.0 of a digital product? Do you resend the new product to your old customers for a discount?
I've done this before where I've done a 2.0, and there's no better way to ingratiate yourself to your customers than to say, hey, I redid this, here's 2.0, and then, after 2.0, you're going to have something else to offer them, whether it's affiliate offers or your own program or coaching. And what a way to woo them. They spent $15, $80, whatever it was. And you're like, hey, I made it better, and here it is for free. So that would be my advice, because, I love all my customers, and I want to give them the most value so that they get the most value to get the results.
Yeah,
because that's why we're in this, because we're not just in this to build a business. We're in this to help people. That's my thinking. I'm just going to say goodbye to Instagram. Thank you for joining us, but I've only got 40 seconds remaining. So
sure.
If you, anybody that's watching this and needs some more information, please DM me.
Yeah, and I would just agree exactly with what you said. If you're gonna create just an improved version of the same product, your customers are going to be a little annoyed if they have to pay for it. They're going to be like, I already bought this, right? So the reality is you're going to come out with complete other versions of products that they can buy, right? So if they know every time they're going to get the upgrade, they're going to be more loyal to buy every time you come out with a new program, which is why you were brilliant to have 5 different challenge jump rope and challenge workouts and challenge cheerleading and challenge jumping jacks, and I lost track, right? There was a whole bunch of them, right?
And then exactly. And so then you resell something brand new, but if you redo something, then give it to them for free.
Awesome.
You really just want these raving fans. You want people that just love you, because there's so much noise in the fitness business industry right now.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time. I know you're super busy. Power of Five Mastermind in Banff. Check that website out. And then if you're coming to Functional Aging Summit, you get to meet Shauna in person and hear her speak at our event. So have a great day.